The Hat Trick Hockey Podcast is brought to you in part by Claro Media, helping businesses and personal brands alike grow and thrive in the digital world. Whether it's sports, events, real estate, and more, Claro Media has your back. Contact today by emailing info@claromedia.ca or follow and send a message on Instagram at Claro Media. That's CLARO.media. What's going on, all you beauts and beauties? Welcome to the Hat Trick Hockey Podcast, brought to you by GL Heritage, the official beer of HTH. I am your host, Brett Hedges, along for the ride with one of my favorite guys, the creator of the Hat Trick Hockey Podcast and the king of crispy himself, Ant Gaudette. Take a bow, Ant. How are you
Oh,
doing, buddy?
I love that King of Crispy intro. It is crispy.
It is crispy. Before we get into the show, make sure you guys follow us on all of our social media outlets. Make
Mhm.
sure you smash that subscription link on our YouTube channel and visit our merchandise link as well because as you know, ho ho ho, the holiday season is coming up and you can get yourself some merch with the HTH logo of all sorts and colors for your HTH fan in the family. Of course, make sure you support our sponsors because they support us. Make sure you get 20% off of BioSteel at biosteel.ca using the promo code HTH Podcast, all capital letters,
Yep.
and use the same promo code HTH Podcast to get 10% off your order with Howie's Hockey Tape as well. You've been using that Howie's Hockey Tape, haven't you, Ant? Because
I
you
oh
are back on the ice.
I am back on the ice. Everybody that I've talked to, their words that come out of their mouth, the first thing is, "Are you fucking stupid?" That's what everybody keeps asking me. But I'm a sucker for frickin' punishment, so here I am, 2 games in. Um, have scored in both games due to two beautiful passes, but Um, yeah, I'm back. I'm feeling okay. I'm back to work. My shoulder feels good. My leg feels good. It's a little sore, like the little bit of, back to work because I was never really on it for 8 hours at a time,
Yeah.
right? So I was never really standing on it. So when I went back to work, I got a little bit of the swelling in the ankle and stuff that I'm kind of working on dealing with, but other than that, it's not too bad. So feeling pretty good for the most part. We're in the holiday season. As you can see, Brett is rocking the Santa Claus hat. So yeah, I'm in the swing of Christmas. Hockey season's in full bore. You just had the Christmas parade. You were in the Essex or Windsor
I
one?
was. That was the Essex Christmas Parade.
There
Yeah,
you
I
go.
was part of that. Me
Hmm.
and my daughter got to be part of that with the Year TV Windsor crew. We got to be in the van with our producer Emily, who we've worked on a lot of different projects with. That was a lot of fun.
Hmm.
A lot of 6'7s amongst the kids. Everyone saying 6'7 along Talbot Street in Essex there, and it was fun. It was the first time I'd ever been in the Essex Parade. That was a lot of fun.
Hmm.
We were near the front. If you guys waved and said hello, thank you very much. My daughter had a great time. It was my first time for me in the Essex Parade, so it was a long time coming. You know, I'm a Harrow boy.
Yeah.
I used to work for the town of Essex back when I was a young man working in the Parks and Rec department. So a fun little full circle moment for the
Hmm.
kid. And downtown Essex looked nice. So obviously, for a few years it was under heavy construction.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see downtown Essex looking very crispy. All the streets and all the road work was done. It was good to
Yeah.
see all the businesses lit up and all
Mhm.
decorated and things like that. And it was great. And driving down Chachi's Pizza, right by Chachi's Pizza, I could smell that. Just
Yeah.
like when I was 17 working for the town, and drove by Vang's, the Thai restaurant in town there, and
Yeah.
just made me want to go stop by a whole bunch of different spots in the town. So I got to go visit some more, and I got to go see some more Essex 73's games toward the end of the regular season. But we will talk about that in the
Yeah.
second
Boys
half
are
of the
humming.
show
Hmm.
for sure. You know who is also hopping? The Minnesota Wild, because they just pulled off a fantastic trade. I think everybody in the hockey world was not expecting the Minnesota Wild to pull off a trade for Quinn Hughes, but they
Yeah.
did.
Hmm.
GM Bill Guerin gets it done, and the Minnesota Wild now have themselves a franchise defenseman for at least the next season and a half.
Yeah.
We'll see if he signs an extension there. But tell us your thoughts, buddy, about the whole Quinn Hughes contract and I mean the trade, and because for a lot of people they thought it was either going to be Detroit or
Hmm.
the New Jersey Devils that were going to pull off a
Yeah.
trade because his brothers play for the Devils and Detroit put together a strong package, but at the 11th hour, the Minnesota Wild pull off a big swing for Quinn
Hmm.
Hughes. What do you think?
Well, the thing is too, though, is seriously think so. The Everybody was thinking that the Red Wings were one of the front runners, and which they were. The Red Wings had all of the assets that the Canucks wanted. So they had everything. They wanted a centerman, they wanted a guy on D, they wanted a couple draft picks. So the Red Wings had everything in line. However, I have a feeling that the reason why the Red Wings didn't heavily go after him is because I have a feeling that he wasn't ready to sign long term because he's
Yeah.
looking to go to New Jersey. So I have a feeling that's why he signed with Minnesota because Minnesota didn't, I don't think they made him guarantee that he was going to sign long term. They're willing to have him for that year and but technically though, are you only going to have him for a year? Because if you still have him next year at the trade deadline, you're going to
Yeah.
move him, aren't you? To
Yeah, you
get
could.
something for him so you don't just let him walk for free.
Yeah, you could potentially flip him next year at the deadline. He can't sign an extension until July 1st anyway.
Mhm.
But the big thing that Minnesota gets in return is that they can offer him the max contract length at
Yes.
8 years, and they can offer him. I think it's almost like unlimited signing bonuses. So the team
Insane.
that holds his rights does have the best chances and like the best like odds kind of thing that has like the
So
best
who was
players to
so
sign him.
can you kind of fill everybody in on the trade and just tell everybody the exact trade and how it went down?
Yes. So not New Jersey, the Vancouver Canucks traded Quinn Hughes, who was their captain. He won the Vezina, it's not Vezina, what am I saying? The Norris
Oh,
Trophy in 23-24. He's played in 469 games for Vancouver, and he has a fantastic stat line. In 459 games with Canucks, he's got 61 goals and 432 points. So this guy's
jeez.
almost a point per game player as a defenseman.
Franchise player.
Franchise player. He was the Norris Trophy winner in 23-24. So Vancouver trades Quinn Hughes to Minnesota for Marco Rossi, who is a centerman who's 24 years old, who just can't had a career year last year. He's actually a former OHL scoring winner. Like he played for the Ottawa 67s and he won the scoring title. He's actually Austrian, which I did not know before
Crazy.
researching this. Um, and he just signed a 3-year, $15 million contract with Minnesota this past offseason. So they would have him, they've got him locked up for the next 2+ years.
Hmm.
A guy named, not a guy, but like a player, who we got here? What's his name? Boehm.
Yeah, there was a defenseman, I guess, that is pretty much straight up fresh out of college,
Yes.
I
So
guess,
yeah,
and he's a stud, I
Yeah,
guess.
Zeev Buim,
Yeah.
Buium,
Yeah.
and a defenseman named Liam Ogren, which is Ohgren. So he's a young blue liner.
Hmm.
So they get three young players. So Marco Rossi is the biggest player out of this deal. He had 69 points last year. And so he's a 70-point guy, right? And he's about to hit his prime, right? So
Yeah.
so Vancouver's getting themselves that he's the kind of the centerpiece of this trade, but they also get Minnesota's first round pick in 2026. So this
Yeah.
upcoming draft, they'll get Minnesota's first round pick. Now, Minnesota is a good team, so that
Hmm.
will if they have a long run in the playoffs, that's going to be a low first round draft pick. But if Vancouver has a subpar year, which they are having, they
Yeah.
are going to have a high draft pick. So having their pick be in the top 5 or 7 teams
Hmm.
and having another first round pick late would be able to help their depth immensely moving forward for a team that is obviously rebuilding. But
Hmm.
what a fall from grace from for Vancouver a couple of years ago. They were one of the best teams in the league. Rick Tocchet wins the Coach of the Year. Quinn Hughes wins Norris Trophy, and now they're absolutely building up from the bottom.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Minnesota, good for them. They go all in. They've got
Yeah.
Kirill Kaprizov. They've got Wallstead, the goaltender that's playing well for them. and they got a hot hockey market where they sell out their building every night. And I like this deal for Minnesota. You
Me
take a
too.
swing. You don't hit any home runs that you don't take a swing on. So good for Minnesota. Obviously, the packages that Detroit and New Jersey were offering were not as competitive as the other ones. And if Detroit specifically wasn't feeling that Quinn was going to sign the trigger on a deal later on,
Yeah, they're
then
gonna be
yeah,
like,
you
hell
can't make
no.
that. You
Yeah,
can't put up a king's
yeah.
ransom. So what I was hearing, and I talked to Tristan about this, and of course Tristan's away from the show this week. He's very busy, so it's
Mhm.
just me and the old man tonight,
Yeah.
repping this show. It seemed like what Vancouver was asking for Quinn from Detroit was going to be Simon Edvinsson,
Uh,
Marco Casper, Nate Danielson, and a first round pick. So, and possibly maybe throw Sebastian Cosa in there if they needed it. So I'm assuming that,
What?
well, not like I would just assume like if one of those three players weren't involved, that they would want a high level player like Cosa instead of maybe Casper or Danielson or whatever. But
Mhm.
those three names, Danielson, Casper, and Edvinson plus a first round pick. So that's too high,
Yeah, that's a lot to give
especially
away.
that's a lot to give away. And it makes sense, especially if they were feeling that Quinn Hughes didn't want to stay long term, that they wouldn't want to sell the farm just for Detroit to make this move to get him for a year and a half to try and maybe make the playoffs this year or next.
Yeah.
So obviously it was hard hearing that Detroit didn't make the move, but after hearing the details about, he's not keen on signing an extension anywhere but or signing anywhere in 2027 anywhere but New Jersey so he could go play for his brothers and go play back in the States, then it makes a lot of sense not to pull the trigger on a big trade like that.
And for the record, too, he's already scored a goal tonight, too. So he's already
Yep.
scored. And the other guy, what was the guy's name that he got traded for? The blue liner?
Buim
Yes.
and Ogren. Yeah.
Yes. So Boehm got a assist a minute into his debut too. So
Yeah.
both guys are already throwing up points for their teams. The thing is too is Minnesota is kind of one of those teams that seems like they always have trouble getting over the hump. So now could Hughes be that guy that pushes them over the hump, right? We know that he's going to add a completely different like look to your whole back end. He's going to give you more offensive power. He's going to shut down the other team's stars. He's going to be a minute muncher. Like he's going to do all those things that you want him to do.
Quarterback the
All
power play.
exactly. He's power play, penalty kill, all situations. And I think, and I'm not saying that it's a hard thing, but what you have to do is you have to keep him healthy because you're bringing him in to play a huge role in a big push to try and win a Stanley Cup there. So, do they have everything now in place? Yes, they do. Absolutely. 100% they do. Now, adding in Quinn Hughes is now just going to give him that extra shot in the arm. So, are we pushing them up into the top five contenders on a Stanley Cup now?
Oh, top five? 100%. Yeah. If you
Okay.
were
I
saying
would say
top
so
two or
too.
three,
Yeah.
yeah, I think top five is very safe to say because they're
Hmm.
already playing at a high level right now, and I can't imagine
Yeah.
that they wouldn't be one of the favorites moving forward now. Hey man, at least you're gonna get a group of fans that are going to be
Hmm.
interested in your schedule now. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm more inclined to check out a few more Minnesota Wild game now,
I was
right?
watching them earlier on tonight.
hmm So I love the deal for Minnesota. I
Yeah.
love it's a great deal for their fans and their fan base. And I just laughed because Bill Guerin, and he's a player that we watched when we were growing up. He
Yeah.
was always playing for the Dallas
He's
Stars,
nails that guy.
and he's very funny in his media availability. And he said that what was he doing? So yeah, tell me, like, what was he doing when he got the call from Jim
So
Rutherford saying
he
that they got a deal done for
Yeah,
Quinn
so he
Hughes?
told me, or not tell me, I wish he told me, but he was doing his little media scrum or whatever, and he said that he had to take off his latex gloves and everything to answer the phone because he was making meatballs. He was rolling meatballs in his hands while he was accepting the Quinn Hughes deal. So
That's hilarious.
just tells you how cool Billy G is, how calm, cool, and collected he is, and how he was the same thing when he played too. He was the same way. He's making but a big splash. Like what a move he made for his team. Just a little spruce up the back end a little bit. They're riding a hot goalie. They've got one of the best goal scorers in the game up front. Like I really like what they're doing, which I believe he had 2 or 3 goals today too as well. So Minnesota's firing on all cylinders. Eyes are definitely shifting over to them. They're going to be the team to watch right now, especially like I said, big move. So yeah, then they handled Boston tonight. Like it was
Yeah.
like 6-2. It was 4-0 at a point in time. So what's that tell you that this guy's done? Quinn skated out for warm up to like a roar. Like it was
It's a
so
big deal.
he's already been very well accepted in Minnesota. So hopefully he does good there. Good luck to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Best of luck to Quinn Hughes and the Minnesota Wild moving
Mhm.
forward. I don't really have anything else on the
No.
NHL as of this time. We've got, you know, NHL talk. We've got the Olympics coming up, a lot of things
Hmm.
going on.
Hmm.
So why don't we save that for another show, buddy?
For sure. Yep.
Sounds good. Let's move into our next league that starts with an N and is a hockey league. Let's go to the NPHL
Ooh.
because the boys, the Bluebirds, are buzzing right now in the NPHL. Of course,
Hmm.
a group of us, me, Ant, Brendan Jones, and Tristan, we've all kind of rotated doing some broadcasting for the Tilbury Bluebirds
Hmm.
during their home games recently. And Ant, the Birds are playing at a really high clip.
Yeah, they're
And
buzzing.
are putting together a pretty solid season in the NPHL.
Hmm.
It was a couple weeks ago that you and I did their game against Strathroy where they won 2-0,
Yeah.
and they who got a 50 save shutout from Ryan Polidori. A couple weeks, the next weekend they go on the road and they beat the Alvinston Killer Bees, who were the top team in
Yeah.
the league. They beat them 5-3. The next weekend they went on the road.
Hmm.
Sorry, did I miss that one? Yeah. Sorry, Jonesy Jonesy did the one where they were at home and they beat Alvinston,
Hmm.
and then they went on the road and they played on against Strathroy,
Yeah.
and they lost that one unfortunately.
Yeah.
But then they came back. Then they went on to Stratford the next night and they won that one 7-4. And then on
Mhm.
December 6th, I did their game solo against the Halton Hills Cowboys, and I had a lot of fun doing that game. And they ended up winning that one 4-2. Jake Durham scored one goal and had one into an empty net for a two
He's
goal
buzzing right
effort, and
now too.
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So the boys are playing well. Most recently, their most recent game, they had a rematch against the Alvinston Killer Bees, and they
Didn't go so
dropped that
well.
one.
It
It
didn't
wasn't
go.
as good. They
We
lost
got pumped.
10-3.
Yeah, we
But
got pumped.
Alvinston's got a great
Yeah.
team. They're the top team in the
Mhm.
league as of right now.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
the Bluebirds are putting together a solid brand of hockey. And if
Yeah.
anyone is out there and they want to take a look at their schedule, I highly recommend it. I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
think this is the second or third game that I did for
Mhm.
them this year. Yeah, third game. And I had a great time. They beat Halton Hills 4-2, and it was some great action from both sides. What do you have to say about the Birds so far this year, buddy?
I actually like it. They started off really slow. I think they started like 1-4 or 1-5 or something, and then they went on a little bit of a run. Now I think they've won 4-6 or 5-7 or something like that. But now, well, I mean, Alvinston, like they're just
They're a
that team
wagon.
is buzzing, and then that's I don't know if that's like, haha, I just made it funny because their name's Killer Bees, but yeah, they are humming right now. They have great offense. They fired 66 shots on Friday at
Yep.
us. So think about it. The goaltenders for the Birds made 56 saves between them. Um, I want to give, we're not going to really get into it, but we want to send our well wishes to Holly, one of the volunteers for the team. She was just wrong place, wrong time, got a puck. We're not going to really get into her injuries or this or that, but
Yeah.
Holly's pretty banged up, and we just want to let her know that we're like thinking about her, and we hope she's feeling well, and we want to see her like right back at the rink real soon. Just a really unfortunate thing happened with her. You were standing right there.
Yeah.
So we just want to send our love to her and just we hope she's feeling well and at home resting. And like I said, we just want to see her right back at the rink as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing. Just a puck goes out of play, and unfortunately, it hit her and
Hmm.
it hurt her pretty good. And so
Yeah.
we're our thoughts are with her at this time. So
Hmm.
Holly, from all of us at HTH, you're a beauty, and
Yeah.
we hope that you get back on your feet as soon as we can, and hope to hear from you guys soon. Hope to see you
Yeah.
at a Bluebirds game,
Hmm.
in the future. Um,
Holly does a lot for the team. Holly
yeah,
and uh
Brandy,
Brandy, yes, are the
Brandy.
two that these two women, I mean, they do a lot for the team. They're all over the rink. They're doing stats. They're doing door stuff. They're looking at merch. These two women are everywhere, and th're a huge part of this whole operation that they have there. So
Hmm.
shout out to those two. And once again, Holly, rest up, and we want to see you right back at the rink.
For sure. If anyone out there has done game day operations at
Yeah.
any kind of sporting event or anything, you
Mhm.
understand what
It's crazy.
kind of mountain that you have to climb
Yeah.
each and every game day, and these two do it
Mhm.
very, very well, and they take on a lot of responsibility
They
for the
do.
team.
Mhm.
And so just to see, to see that happen to her was very unfortunate, very disheartening. But
Mhm.
I was very happy with the response that everyone was able to kind of rally around her and get her the help that she needed.
Mhm.
And so, our thoughts are with her, and hopefully the Bluebirds can have themselves a fantastic rest of the season.
Mhm.
Because it's getting toward the end of the regular season already.
Yeah.
I'm looking at their schedule right now. As of the time of this recording, they've got one, two, three, four, five. They've got 8 games left, but only three of those games are at home.
Yeah.
So they've got their next game is a rematch against Halton Hills on the road on Saturday, December 20th at 8 o'clock. And Halton Hills had a pretty sweet team. Merrick Pavlis, their goaltender, when Tilbury won 4-2. Guy made over made like 58 saves or
Yeah.
57 saves. Like the Birds pumped 62 shots on
It's
goal in that
crazy.
game. So he played
Crazy.
well, and that was like his first start with the team. That was a lot of fun to watch, and they've got some really fun players there. They got a guy named Nick Salov, who was their leading scorer at the time, 12 points in 7 games. Austin Mayetta. They've got a good guy, a couple of good defensemen, Jedi Summersall,
Mhm.
a couple of other names that I'm missing, but there was a solid team, and it was a lot of fun watching their brand of hockey. They kept it close. It was a 3-2 hockey game late in the game, and Jake Durham just fired one from our goal line dead center into the back of the net for an
Yeah.
empty netter to clinch it. So it was a lot of fun, and everyone that came to the game had a lot of fun and got their money worth for sure. So
How
that's the
how
December
good is
20th.
how good
Sorry.
has he been lately?
Oh, Durham's great. Yeah, he
Oh,
scored 2 goals in that game, so
I
that
think
gave
he
him
had a
10 goals on the
couple
year.
the game prior to that too. In their last win, I think he had a couple. He's humming right now.
Yeah, former OHL player. He played at the University of Windsor as well. When he
Yeah.
played for Flint, I believe his OHL totals were he had 70 career OHL goals. So this guy can fire it in the back of the net, and
Mhm.
he's playing on a line with Dylan Denemy,
Yeah.
and I believe it was Cole Butler
Yeah.
was on that line as well.
Almost
And
who
Butler's
we
another player that just sacrifices everything and on every shift just
Mhm.
banging bodies even though he's not the biggest guy on the
No.
ice. Like he's having a lot of fun out there, and he's doing a really good job.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of his. So
For
Denemy,
sure.
Durham, and
Nasty.
Butler, that was a good
Nasty.
line. They
Yeah.
connected on a couple of goals on the night, but a lot of really good players on that team. That was the first time that I saw Chase Ruddy. He's a guy who used to play in the ECHL. Last I checked, he was playing for the Toledo Walleye a couple years ago when
Mhm.
they had that really good run, and he's a really good defenseman. A guy named Austin Jennings on that team, Spencer Lacotte, Harrow Boy on that team as well. So there's a lot of talent on the Tilbury Bluebirds. So I can't wait to see them toward the end of the year.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go over their last 7 games of the
Mhm.
regular season, and then we can go over the standings, and then we'll move on. Okay.
Did we ever talk the Valancourt fight?
Oh no, that's a great one. Yeah. So, uh, Cue it up, man, because this guy can
So
was throwing knuckles. It was against the Killer Bees,
so
right? A couple weeks
yeah,
ago.
so Zach Valancourt, former Lakeshore Canadian Smalls Cup champion. He
Played last year with LaSalle.
yeah, played last year at LaSalle. But anyways, he gets into a scrap. Well, I forget who it was,
I
but he
forget.
fought somebody. They were center ice at home, and it was probably one of the best hockey fights I've seen in probably 20 years. These
Yeah.
guys, there was no it was so good. It made it all the way to AJ fucking Galante. That's how good it was, okay? Danbury Trashers made it all the way there. And he did a little breakdown on it and he like
Yes.
pauses it and they were like both cocked back and he's like, "Let's go rock'em sock'em robots." And these two were exchanging. There was no defense. They weren't tying each other up. It was just straight up knuckle soothers. And these two were exchanging them and snapping heads back. Fucking, they were going at it. And the best part about it was at the end, you can kind of see that they both kind of acknowledged each other. And Valancourt's only 21 years old. The guy he fought was only like 24 years old. So it was two young guys. They were around the same size. It's two guys that weren't really known for their fighting, and they just beat the hell out of each other. And there was
Yeah.
no one hurt, and it was just it was fucking beautiful. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah.
It was like what else could you say? It was just two guys and it was the emotion, pure emotion of the game took
Hmm.
over and they dropped him and went. And with the two fight rule now, so for those who don't know what the two fight rule is, in that league, the NPHL, when you get into a fight your first time in the game, you go to the penalty box and you sit for 5 and you come back out. And then if you get into another fight, then you get kicked out of the game. So yeah, so he was able to they were both guys were able to come back out after and it was just the fight was all time. Check on the Bluebirds page for it, our page for it, and the Danbury Trashers have it up too. So check out any three of those pages. So shout out Zach Valancourt. We're going to be discussing him again in a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to him, man. Hell of a scrap.
Absolutely. The next two home games for the Tilbury Bluebirds are going to be Sunday, December 28th. They're going to play at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
on Sunday, December 28th against the Woodstock Lakers.
Mm.
The next Saturday, Tilbury is going to host the Stratford Irish on Saturday,
Yeah.
January 3rd at 7:30. That's the regular ice time Saturday nights in Tilbury. Then they go on the road for 4 straight games. January 9th against Strathroy, January 17th against Woodstock, January 24th against Stratford, January 31st against Alvinson, and then their last home game of the regular season is going to be Saturday, February 7th at 7:30 at Tilbury Memorial Arena. So that's
Ooh.
against the Six Nations Ironmen. So if you're interested, make sure you check it out. You can get you can't pre-order tickets. You can just go on game day and get your tickets.
Right,
So
right at the gate. Boom.
yep, I believe yeah, it's $11 and
Yeah.
it's perfect. And I talked to a buddy of mine who's from Tilbury. He took the wife, and like 3 kids. It was like $25 or
Yeah.
$27 or something that for, and they had a great time. And that was that game that they won 2-0
Yeah,
against Strathroy.
that was when you and I were on, right?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
Come
as
on
of
down.
right
We got entertainment for everybody. Come on
Oh yeah,
down.
they've got a bar there. They've
Yeah.
got everything. You know, they got the regular snack bar there at Tilbury
Yeah.
Memorial, and it's great hockey. Honestly, I wouldn't be telling you if it wasn't entertaining.
We
Uh,
wouldn't be working there if it wasn't good.
yeah, and they treat us very well there.
Yeah.
So shout out to the Bluebirds. We're
Yep.
having a lot of fun taking in that hockey, and all 3 games that I've called were a lot of fun. A lot of
Yep.
great talent on the ice, and a lot of fun calling those games.
And it's like fast paced,
Oh,
physical, and
it's pro
yeah,
hockey. Like
guys there aren't scared to rip like freaking clap bombs either. You see some clap bombs there. So a
yeah,
lot of times nowadays, these younger, kids and generation or the games kind of change where guys aren't really ripping those 1Ts from the point or anything like
no.
that. They're shooting them through screens, snapshots, wrist shots. Not these guys. We're teeing up. So
Mhm.
yeah, come on out and watch. It's awesome.
And especially that game that I did when they played Halton Hills, it was Chase Ruddy and Austin Jennings. They were teeing each other up quite a
Well,
bit in
just
that game, and they
cannons.
were just putting on some just booming shots on. And Merrick
Yeah.
Pavlis
And Jennings
for
is tall and lanky, so he's got that like Chara
Yeah.
Chara-ish like kind of shot, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, he's got a cannon, that guy.
Yeah, so a lot, really fast moving,
Yeah.
and it's a lot, and it's a lot of fun. One thing before we go on, one thing I do like as well is that the D always jump up in the rush, or they're leading the rush. Like
Yeah.
you're getting, like sometimes, like in junior leagues or whatever, like they'll do that they'll breakout pass, but
Hmm.
especially if a D man's going back and collecting the puck back, and especially if there's like a change, they're leading the rush and
Yeah.
they're skating it 200 feet and they're trying to generate off of that. And so I like that a lot. I played defense growing up, and that's my kind of hockey. You know
Hmm.
what? Can't get something going with the forwards? Screw it. I'm gonna go, and you guys are gonna feed off me. And so
Damn
it's a
right.
lot of fun. So
Mhm.
if you guys are interested, make sure you check that out. As of this recording, the Alvin in the South Division of the Metropolitan Conference in the NPHL, the Alvinston Killer Bees are first with an 11-2 record for 22 points. The Strathroy Jets are 8-3 for 17 points. The Stratford Irish are 7-5 for 15 points, and the Tilbury Bluebirds are 5-7 with 10 points. But they have beat all three of those teams.
Yeah.
It's honestly anyone's game,
Hmm.
and it should be interesting to see how it goes at the end of the regular season. I can't wait to see how the Bluebirds come out there at the
Yeah.
end of the regular season. Great leadership. They got Dylan Denemy there, former LaSalle Viper, former University of Windsor Lancer. He's doing a great job
Hmm.
leading the way out there. Their coach David Jackson is doing great. Matt Anthony played really well in the game that I
Yeah.
watched that I called them do that 4-2 win. Ryan Polidori, 50 save shutout. He's got a great save percentage on the regular season. So he's, you know what? The boys are there. They're playing their butts off, and we'd love to see you guys out at a game if you guys want to check that out. So if you guys are interested, check out the NPHL hockey.ca to get all of their stats and facts
Yeah.
and schedules for that. Do you want to go? Let's go to the OHL
Yeah.
now, because our Windsor Spitfires, we're going to pick up where they left off most recently, because they just finished an Eastern road trip this past weekend where they dropped 2 of 3, but last weekend they had a home and home against the. That's not what I wanted. They had a home and home against the London Knights, which of course, anytime that Windsor and London do battle, it is always a fun night.
Oh yeah.
Um, so they played the Friday night in London, and then they played the Saturday night in Windsor, and they split those two games. Windsor won the first game, uh, no,
Four
not
one.
4-1, which
Yeah.
was the Friday night game, and then they came back, and the next night, London skated away with a 3-2 overtime win in that one. So it's good to see the rivalry is alive and well
Hmm.
in the Western Division, and I can't wait to see these two teams play again. Did you catch any of these games, buddy?
I watched a little bit of the one in London. I believe there was a
Yeah.
couple scraps and it got a little nasty. That's why I was kind of thinking like, oh, what's gonna happen when they come back to Windsor on Saturday, the Saturday, right?
Yeah.
So, Saturday ended up being a much cleaner, tight checking game. Like they tend to let it fly. They let it fly a little bit on the Friday, which is why the score got, to 4-1 Windsor. And
Yeah.
but it's always must see every time those two teams meet, isn't it? Even from back in the day, even when like London was a wagon and Windsor was poo, it was like they were still good games because there'd be like 15 fights during them. So there's always been that heat of rival. It's just different when London comes to town, no?
Yeah, no matter what the season is, the the heat is always up,
Yeah.
and it's always fun to see because they haven't played each other since the beginning of the regular season. Windsor played them in the opening weekend and beat them, so that's only the third time that they've played each other. So we'll get another couple games between those two teams throughout the regular season. And but toward the end of the year, like those games are going to matter for playoff positioning. So I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
The Spitfires went on a 3-game Eastern road trip this past weekend at the time of this recording. It started with a game on Thursday night against the Peterborough Petes, and the Spitfires won 6-3. They ended up going up 4-0 in that game. But this game was more so known because it had like 30 penalties in it
Yeah.
and just scraps. and a bunch of different like scrums. I every time I turned around, I would watch this game with my kids, and like it seemed like every other whistle it was just a scrum after the whistle, and it was funny. Like it was a good time, but like for some reason, just these guys did not like each other. I don't know what it was, but it was a fun. Let me just double check here. How many misconducts did we have in this game?
Oh God, I'm looking right now.
Yeah. So
Misconducts,
Tanasi.
there's
So Tanasi Marentet, he's actually a Windsor boy. He ended up like fighting with John McLaughlin, who's a 16, 17-year-old first round pick, and he kind of ragdolled him a little bit, and he ended up getting a misconduct because it wasn't really like
yeah,
so they
there was
gave
9 misconducts in the game.
yeah, like they gave Johnny a 5 for fighting, but like basically Marentet basically they just jumped him after the whistle. Like
Mhm.
he like McLaughlin went into to start something, but like Marentet 100% finished it. Like Marentet was getting a tripping penalty on the play anyway. I think he tripped Greentree, and so
Yeah.
McLaughlin came to kind of stick up for his teammate, and just Marentet just kind of just ragdolled him a bit. So he ended up getting kicked out of the game. So he got the first minor penalty, he got the major, and then he ended up getting a game misconduct for persistent fight, which
Yeah.
I didn't know. I hadn't seen that in game codes until this year. So maybe kind of a one-sided fight kind of thing.
I think that's kind of pretty much what it is.
Yeah. Nine misconducts in the game. Yeah, persisting. We're seeing that a lot in the game sheet here.
Even
But
Woodall had a fighting major in that game. Like, what's going on here?
yeah, I did see that. So and they said that he instigated it too. So who knows, man? Like these teams did not enjoy each other's company in Peterborough that night. Windsor
Love it.
was up 4-0 when a lot of this stuff happened. The first fight was in the first period, so there really wasn't much to
Yeah.
discuss. But one person that we will highlight that got a goal in this game was Sean Costello. He scored his first OHL goal. So congratulations to Sean. He's been working hard for the Windsor Spitfires since he came over in a trade last year. So good for him. He's been working. He's been on that fourth line a lot
Yeah.
this year. So good to see a guy like that get on the
I
board in his first
actually
OHL assist.
chatted with him a little bit on Instagram a little while ago. I'm trying to get him
Yeah.
to come on the show and talk with us, but yeah, he's
Hey.
nails that guy.
Yeah. He was just on an episode of Flightline with Rick Burns, him and
Yeah.
Max Brocklehurst. So I was learning a little bit about him. He's a Toronto boy, but he moved to Port Credit. He's got a
Hmm.
sister that is going to Western, I believe.
Sweet.
And interesting to see what kind of story he's got because
Hmm.
he's a young kid, so he'll be on this
Yeah.
team for a couple of years
Yeah.
if all goes well for him. So congratulations, Sean, on your first
Yeah.
OHL goal, and Windsor picks up the win in that game 6-3. Unfortunately, it would be their only win that weekend.
Yeah.
So the next night they went to Kingston and they dropped a 4-3 decision in that game. This one was kind of a weird game. It was their teddy bear toss game.
Mhm.
And Kingston scores first at 8:22 of the first period. Will Bishop, so the teddy bears fly and stuff like that. But the flow of the game, it just wasn't like I'm not. I didn't watch the like I wasn't there glued to the TV for every second because I got young kids. I'm always running around doing stuff while I'm watching games. But like it just didn't seem like this flow like the flow of the game was there. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. But in the second period, apparently, two goals got waved off for Windsor. They thought that they should have been tied at two after two periods. It ends up not being so. Windsor does get one back in the third, but it was kind of too little, too late. And Kingston skates away with a 4-3 victory
Yeah.
in that one. Beck Salton McKee scored a goal in that one. Anthony Cristofaro scored his seventh goal of the year, and Ethan Garden scored his eighth of the year. This game did not feature their captain Liam Greentree because he was off to go to World Junior Championships training camp for Team Canada. So best of luck, Liam.
Yeah.
Have some fun with that. And then on Sunday, AJ Spellacy was not in the lineup in their game against Ottawa because he has gone to
Team
camp
USA.
with the United States. So congratulations to those guys. Those guys have fun and make sure you just come back healthy,
I
please.
think I
That's
know
all.
what happened when they went in the Kingston there.
Yeah, what happened?
Catch the name of the arena?
The slush puppy place.
Too many slush puppies, man. The boys were all sluggish. All
Do you
sluggish. They
remember?
were all sugared out.
Do you remember
And
the sour shots you used to get in the slush puppies back in the
yeah,
day?
that would make your face go inside out.
It was almost like warhead shots. I remember that.
Yeah,
10 cents
brutal.
per shot of
Hmm.
sour at the Harrow Arena.
That's okay. See, I just figured it out. It was all the slushies.
You know what? You figured it out. You are a detective
I
if
am.
I ever met one. Um, the next night, or sorry, on Sunday afternoon, the day of this recording, the Windsor
Yeah.
went up to Ottawa to play the Ottawa 67s, and Ottawa's a very good team.
Six,
Uh,
7.
Six,
Here, I'll get it out
seven.
now. Okay. How's that?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
done
it.
now. That's
And
all I hear at my
why
house.
are they named the 67s, bud? Because Canada became a country in 1867.
Yeah.
There
That's
you
like, do
go.
you know why they call Michael Jordan MJ?
Because his initials are MJ.
Yeah, that's why.
Perfect. Okay. Um, you are a wordsmith, my friend.
I know. I try.
Um, actually, in this game against Ottawa, Windsor did get up 1-0 in this game. Our boy Carson Woodall got on the board in the first period with a power play goal, and he's been absolutely unreal this year.
Yeah,
He
yes.
leads all defensemen in scoring in the OHL, or did prior to this game, or at some point
He's
during
doing
the
it all.
year.
He's scoring, he's fighting, he's setting up assists, setting up goals from the penalty box. He's done everything this year.
Yeah, he spent some time with Edmonton in the offseason doing some development camp
Yeah,
stuff, and
yeah,
he absolutely is doing really well.
yeah, he
He's
is.
got 39 points on the year so far, and I believe that leads the team in scoring. Let me just double check
It's
here.
got to be
Team.
close.
Yeah, because Greentree has been playing well, but he hasn't been doing. Doesn't have 39 points. I'll tell you that right now. One second here.
Well, Woodall's just been, it seems like every time he grabs a puck, that guy's setting something up or he scores a nice goal. Like he's scored some beauties too
Yeah,
this year.
and there was a couple segments of this game that I was watching when they're playing against Ottawa that he's skating. Yes, he is leading the team in
Mhm.
scoring, by the way, by
Yeah.
seven points. It's
Jeez.
him 39 points and Greentree with 32, and then Belchez with 31. So he's playing incredibly well. Like he's just playing with super confidence right now.
Yeah,
Like
he's got some
his
swagger going.
skating, his edge work is very good.
Yeah.
He's getting good shooting lanes because he's working it, and we're really happy for him because
Mhm.
obviously he's one of the good guys in our community. He does Woody's hoodies. He does a lot of stuff for local cancer initiatives. So good for him. So he is leading the team in scoring
Yeah.
right now. So
Also, too, if you're at the game Thursday night against the Sioux, it's ugly sweater night. So wear your ugly sweaters.
oh, you want me to wear this, bud?
Yeah, you can if you want. Just
This one
seeing it right
says
now on the site. And you get it's Santa's at the game. You get free thunder sticks at the door, and there's Christmas giveaways and more at the game. So be sure to
perfect.
check that out on Thursday night. Spits and the Sioux Greyhounds.
Perfect. Carson Woodall does lead the OHL in power play assists with 17
Jeez,
as well.
crispy.
So he's playing incredibly well. Where is he at in total league scoring? One
He's
second here.
got to be top 10.
He is for a while during the early parts of the regular season, he was the top leading scorer in the league. So
Yeah.
he is number 12 right
Damn.
now. He's tied for 11th actually with
Yeah.
39 points, but the guy ahead of him has more goals, so that's why they have
Yeah.
him at
That's
12th.
right.
But 39 points in 33 games as a defenseman, great for him. He's right ahead of Nikita Klepov and Yegor Barabanov from Saginaw, who we know very well. So
Yep.
Spits lose that game 2-1. They had a couple of chances late. They called timeout in the final minute. Just not able to get much going towards the net. They only had 18 shots in this game, and with like 4 or 5 minutes left in the third period, they only had 14 shots. So not going to win
No.
many games winning with 14 shots on goal, but sometimes at the end of a 3 game road trip on an Eastern Conference swing, you just don't have it on that night. So Spits drop 2 of 3 on the road to Kingston and Ottawa. They do beat the Peterborough Petes 6-3 in their game. So, but because of those 2 losses, though, the Flint Firebirds are now in first place in the OHL Western Conference because they have 2 points over the Windsor Spitfires. Windsor has 46 and Flint has 48. And so if you're a division winner, you're at least guaranteed a top two spot. So the two divisions in the Western Conference, the two division winners get first and second. And so Windsor's now third because they
Yeah.
have 46 points. So something for our folks at home to be mindful of as they move
Yeah.
forward.
And
Um,
also, too, Windsor has a game coming up against Flint on the 28th. So
yes, I
that's
will
going to be a
be.
big matchup.
Yes, that is at Flint,
Yeah.
and I will be in the studio for you guys on that one. It's a Sunday at 4 o'clock.
Are you
So
solo that day?
I'm gonna be solo Jones that day because you
No.
and Tristan can't be there. So
No.
it's okay. We'll
Oh,
we'll, we'll make do. It'll just be like back in the old days when I just did those games by myself. So
damn it.
it'll be fun. We'll be fine. But it's gonna be our first time seeing Flint
Yeah.
in our studio capacity this year. So it's gonna be fun trying to analyze that one.
So you're gonna like come over after the game, right?
Well, maybe we'll see. We'll see how tired I
Well,
am after being
it's
on the
crispy
on the
Christmas.
crispy Christmas. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But Windsor and Flint, December 28th at uh, at Flint on December
Yeah.
28th. So for anyone that's interested, I'll be doing that game on your TV Windsor. For the time being, though, they've got some games coming up on Thursday, Anthony said, ugly Christmas sweater party, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So keep up. If you want to check out the schedule, make sure you visit windsorspitfires.ca for more information and all
Yeah.
their promos and stuff. Oh, before we go, I mean, not before we go, before we end this segment on the OHL, last time we recorded, do you remember that there was hot dog night at the WFCU?
Yeah.
They sold like 6,000 hot dogs at this game. A group of friends of mine, they're in a band called Case the Joint, and they were the guys that were in the hot dog suits that you saw all over social media.
Yeah.
One of the guys that were in the hot dog suits, he ended up mucking 12 hot dogs during
Oh
that game.
my God. Did he shit his pants?
I don't know. I didn't ask that many questions,
Oh.
but and they got themselves, quite a bit of publicity because, they're all over social media for that game. They are actually doing, they're in a band, they're a rock group, and they're a lot of fun to
Yeah.
watch, called Case the Joint. They're actually doing a charity show that is going to benefit the Soup Shack. That's December 19th at Below the Tracks in Tecumseh. So if you want to go see the hot dog guys, I already confirmed they're not wearing the hot dog suits to the show.
Oh, well, that's no
But
fun.
if you want to help them support a good cause, they are doing a bunch of things to help the Soup Shack and to help those that are less fortunate at this time of year. That's December 19th at Below the Track. So I told them that I would shout them out because they're all
Beauty.
four of them are hilarious guys and they're good people and they're trying to do a solid for the
Um,
community and for the people that are going
do we
through
have,
a rough time.
do they have anything that we can maybe post to our socials on that
Yes,
for
I will
them?
send you the
Okay.
link for that because
All right.
yeah, so that's December 19th, Case the Joint, and they're a rock group. There's a couple other bands that are going to be on the ticket. I'm going to try and go out there after I'm done work that night. So Kyle, Dave, Jordo, and Will, there you go. Those are
Love
the
it.
hot dog guys from Case the
Crushing
Joint.
wieners.
Yeah, it was hilarious. So
I
good
love
for
it
them.
though. 12
Yeah.
hot dogs. I wonder how many they ate between like the whole band.
Oh, probably at least 25.
Oh, if one guy knocked back 12, they gotta be pushing 30, no?
Yeah, I know one guy ate 12, another guy,
How do
well, I
you,
know Tristan was at that game and he said he ate five himself. So
did they like roll him out of the rink?
no, he's a pretty big cat, so
Oh, is
I
he?
think he could
He's
handle
a
it.
big
So
dog? No
yeah,
pun intended.
no, it was pretty
Okay.
funny. So good for him.
Love
The
it.
Windsor Spitfires. Of course, you can get their schedule and stats and all that stuff.
Mhm.
WindsorSpitfires.ca, CHL.ca for all of the stuff from across the CHL. Let's move on to the PJHL
Oh.
recap. The last time that we talked, me and Tristan recapped the entire league going up. Oh, this hat is so hot. I have to take it off. I'm sorry. Um, we recapped every game in the Stobbs division up to December 3rd. This was the day after Essex beat Lakeshore 5-0 in their game at home at Essex. Cool thing about this, those three games that Essex played Lakeshore, those were all obviously Essex won those three games, but those were all at Essex. So the
Hmm.
next three games are all going to be at Lakeshore, and I believe one of them is coming up, and I will preview that
Yeah.
before the end of the segment. So
Tough barn to play in, man.
I love that barn. Beautiful,
We
well
were
lit.
just there earlier on. He had a game there today, so we were there today.
hmm
Nice rink.
Um, so let's go to Thursday, December 4th. The Amherstburg Admirals defeated the Walpole Island Wild 12 to 3 on the road at Walpole Island. They were up 3-1 after the first period, then poured on 5 goals in the second and 4 in the third for a 12-3 victory. They were 3 for 7 on the power play and pumped 58 shots on goal in the first period. It was Finnegan Russet scoring his fourth of the year from Jaden Segan and Jake Gaudreau. First minute of the game, 39 seconds in.
Boom.
And then 14 seconds later, Cooper Ratcliffe from Walpole Island scored to make it 1-1. Jackson Blair and Rory Sandison scored. Jackson Blair, his first goal of the year. I believe he was Essex
He
73's
was at
AP,
a
wasn't
point.
he?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So they scored to make it 3-1 after the first period, and then in the second, Amherstburg pumps five goals on net. Brett Jones, Rory Sanderson again, Brett Jones for a second time, Stefan Georgievic and Corey Leach score in the second period to make it 8-2 after 2 periods of play. And then in the third period, Corey Leach scores his second of the game. Evan McPherson, former Lakeshore Canadian, scores his fifth of the game. Stefan Georgievic scores his second of the game, and Corey Leach gets the hat trick to round out the scoring. Aiden Gravel scored the third goal of the game for Walpole, and their second goal was scored by a guy named Aaron Highfield, his fifth of the year. Goaltenders Landon Dimitrov made 30 saves on 33 shots for the win, and Nicholas Duranian made 46 saves on 58 shots in the loss. Amherstburg was 3 for 7 on the power play. Walpole Island was 0 for 2. Next game, big win for Amherstburg. They racked up a couple of wins this past week in the PJHL, but we'll get to one of their bigger ones later on. 2 nights later, or sorry, the next night, Friday, December 5th, the Lakeshore Canadians hosted the Moortown Flags at Atlas Tube Center. The Canadians went up 2-0 in the first period on goals from Kyle Green and Aiden Sullivan. Then in the second period, it was Lucas Boudreau giving the Canadians a 3-0 lead. Jace Dupuy did score for Moortown to make it 3-1 after the second period, but there would be no more scoring after that. It was a 3-1 final. Ethan Dunbar made 27 saves on 30 shots for Moortown in the loss. Bo Porowski made 19 saves on 20 shots in the win. Moortown was 0 for 3 on the power play. Lakeshore was 0 for 4 in that game. Next game in the division is Dresden and Wheatley. The Wheatley Sharks came away with a 6-3 win on the road at on Dresden. It was 1-1 after the first period with goals from Ben Arquette from Wheatley, and Cameron Graham scored his 19th goal of the year at 13:07 of the first period to make it 1-1. In the second period, it was all Wheatley. Jaden Ferguson scored his second goal of the year on a power play. Mackenzie Anderson for Dresden made it 2-2 at 6:19 of the second, but then Wheatley poured 3 goals to finish the second period. Josh Chauvin, Hayden Clem, and Xander Zanier scored to make it 5-2 after 2 periods. And then Blake Stevens scored for Dresden to make it 5-3. And then Josh Chauvin scored into an empty net at 19:56 to round out the scoring. That is Josh Chauvin's 10th goal of the year. Ethan Davis, let me see. Were there any scraps in this game? Oh, there were. 1 second.
We love scraps.
We love scraps. Don't let me forget the scraps. Luke Blanchette and Drew Bunda
Let's
for
go.
Dresden had a scrap in the second period
Love it.
there. So those guys got tossed at the 16-minute mark of the second period. Um, Wheatley was 1 for 4 with the man advantage. Dresden Kings were 1 for 7. Ethan Davis made 27 saves on 30 shots, and Joseph Malinowski made 20 saves on 25 shots in that one. Big win for the Wheatley Sharks as they move up in the standings on that one, getting a big 6-3 win there. Any thoughts so far, buddy?
Oh,
Nope.
Sorry, you're locked in, bro. So I'm just kind of letting you flick through here because I know when we hit the
Essex,
73 games, you're gonna have me chime in. So I'm just letting you do your thing, buddy.
yes, I got one more, and then we got Essex and Amherstburg. Okay, so on Saturday, December 6th, the Blenheim Blades went to the Moortown Sports Complex and put a whooping on the Blades, 7-1. A couple of weeks ago, Moortown beat Blenheim in Moortown, and then this time Blenheim is
Okay.
returning the favor with a 7-1 win. Yep.
Remind me when you get to them because those two teams actually just played earlier tonight
Okay,
as
thank you.
well, and it was a good one. So remind me of
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, Blenheim and Lakeshore also had a really good game on Friday night as well. Thank you for reminding me. Blenheim took a 2-0 lead after the first period of this game with goals from Brad McAlpine and David Brown. McAlpine sixth of the year, David Brown seventh. In the second period, Nelson DeConing scored his 12th of the year. Everett Swayze scored his fourth to put the Blades up 4-0. Casey Shoughton would score the only goal for the Flags in the second period at 17-12. His sixth of the year on the power play from Carson Crawford and Jace Dupuis. And then Dominic Gore scored his sixth of the year to make it 5-1 after 2 periods of play. Brady Robertson scored his third of the year, and Stephen Jacobs scored his 11th of the year in the third period. We got any scraps in this one, too? Oh, yeah. Casey. Oh, no. Not Casey. He served that one.
Oh, I was gonna say we had
Andrew
another.
Goulet.
Oh,
Andrew Goulet got a fighting major, but it
let's
doesn't say
go.
anybody else from Moortown. So I'm not sure what happened there. But
We're not encouraging the fighting. We just like it.
we just like it. Exactly. So Andrew Goulet got a fighting misconduct in the second period, under a minute into the. Oh, so okay. So interference with a goaltender. So Dylan Dupuis ran into the goalie at 51 seconds, and then Andrew Goulet got a fighting major and an instigator after that. So maybe
Little
kind of
goalie contact led to a scrap.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
So that's what happened there. Casey Tellier, who got in a big scrap earlier in the year with in Dresden, he served that penalty by Andrew Goulet. So good job, Casey. Thank you for
I
doing your
was
part. You
actually
served.
just with him on the ice today at our U9 practice for our
Oh,
team. So
awesome.
yeah,
Seems like
so
a nice kid.
shout out Casey. Yeah, Casey's a beauty.
Okay, in the third period, there was another scrap. Gavin Mariano and Nolan Bordage scrapped at the 9:46 mark in that game. And then, hold on. Everett Swayze got a fighting major with Braden Hogan from Moortown at 11:10. So two fights within a minute and 15 seconds of each other. Or sorry, a minute 25. That's what we like to see, boys.
Love
Just
it.
just throwing knuckle soothers in a
Yeah,
7-1 game. That's what
chuck them
happens
around.
though.
Chuck them
Chuck
around.
them. Uh did I do all the goals? Yes, I did. Yeah. 7-1 there. The in goal Russell Vaughn made 22 saves on 23 shots for the win, and in the loss, Ethan Dunbar made 28 saves on 35 shots. Brady Robertson was the first star of the game with 1 goal and 2 assists. David Brown, 1 goal, 1 assist for the second star, and Russell Vaughn, 22
Yeah.
saves in the win there. The next game on the docket, Essex went to Amherstburg, and this was a very interesting game because the Amherstburg Admirals came out firing, bud.
Yeah.
They absolutely put a scare into the Essex 73s. They went up 2-0 in the first period on goals from Stefan Georgievich at 11:02, his 13th of the year, and then at 12:22, Braden Hebert or Abear scored his first of the year at 12:22. Jackson Forche Smith scored at 19:51 to make it 2-1. He scored for Essex, the captain,
Yep.
scored to make it 2-1 after the first period. But it was a very interesting game. While we're at it, Jackson Forche Smith, what an absolute player this guy has
Take a
been,
bow, kid.
just absolutely unreal. After that second goal at 12:22, Essex would pull Brock Devlin, who started the game. He made 8 saves on 10 shots, and then Burt Castles comes in. He had just come off the shutout against Lakeshore, and then but he gave up a goal early in the second period. Sorry, Braden Habert scored his second goal of the game and second of the year at 3:46 of the second period, and then the comeback began for the Essex 73s.
Yeah.
Travis, don't you dare call me Rive,
Yeah.
scored his third goal of the year at
Love it.
4:46. That made it 3-2 midway through the second period, and then Jackson Forche Smith scores his 10th of the year for Essex at 12:45 to make it 3-3 after two periods. And then this one got really interesting late. Did you catch this game at all, buddy?
I believe I was at work, but I was like following it like on my phone, like
Yeah.
kind of keeping track as to what was going on.
Okay. I was at work as well, but I ended up watching the replay of this
Mhm.
because we got ourselves a last minute goal in this one, and it was Jack Lewis for the Essex 73s scoring the game winner with 36 seconds left. This was a really interesting one, too, because Essex had just iced the puck,
Yeah.
and so they had a defensive zone faceoff. They win the draw, they get it out, and they get some pressure inside Amherstburg's zone. And Jack Lewis. So the funny thing, there was a random stick in I don't know random, but like there was a stick in the Amherstburg zone, and it was right next to Jack Lewis. So Jack
Mhm.
Lewis got a pass. It got passed around the stick. He got the pass from Gavin Gaudette, and he had to drag it between his legs to avoid the stick on the ice. So he dragged it between his legs, got the shot off, and scored the game winner. So I just wanted to give that kid a shout out, Jack Lewis. That was a nice handle, buddy.
Well,
That was
definitely,
absolutely
definitely shout out Jack Lewis because he has been in fuego
yeah.
lately, like
That,
on fire.
Yeah, that was his 10th goal
Yeah.
of the season, and it's the game winner for the Essex 73s.
Mhm.
In relief, Bert Castles made six saves on seven shots in 47 minutes of ice time, and Bennett Horrocks, former Essex 73,
Yeah.
made 48 saves on 52 shots, and he was the first star of the game,
Yeah.
rightfully so. And that was
Yeah.
he's been very good for Amherstburg since they traded for him, and he was
Nice.
part of the Jack Lewis trade.
Yeah.
So Bennett made 48 saves on 52 shots. He was the first star of the game. Jackson Forche Smith, he had the two goals for Essex in that game, two goals and one assist, and then Braden Habert scored two goals for Amherstburg to get the third star there. But fantastic game for the Admirals.
Mhm.
They were close, but unfortunately couldn't get that one to go for them, and that would have been a big shocker. Uh, and a huge win for Amherstburg had they pulled that one off. So,
Yeah.
and a couple games earlier this year, Essex had beat him up pretty good. So that's a good bounce back game for Zach Gervais and his
Mhm.
club there. So congratulations. I mean, I don't want to congratulate like you lost, but like that's hey man, that's a great effort there
Yeah,
against the top
absolutely.
team in the division.
Mhm.
So shout out. I'm an Amherstburg guy. I love me and my
Hey
Admirals.
man,
I'm
Amherstburg's done like just their work over the off season, bringing in players and recruiting, and now since we're on the topic,
yeah,
now Zach Valancourt comes back to the league. Now he jumps on. Now he's with the Amherstburg Admirals, and he ends up coming in, and I think it was his first game.
yep.
Was it his first game?
It was. Do you want me to save that one?
Yeah. I mean,
For
if
sure.
you, I mean, we're on
Yeah.
Amherstburg now, so
Yeah, he ends up scoring the OT winner in a game later on this week. So yeah, they
yeah,
sent Brody Gillis to Wheatley in a
yeah.
trade and then signed Zach Valancourt. He's going to be one of their overage players.
Oh,
So
yeah.
and he paid dividends off.
Yeah.
He ripped an OT winner in their game against Dresden. I'll get to that in a minute.
Hmm.
So that was the Saturday night game in the division. No other games in the division on the Saturday. The Sunday, Amherstburg then hosted Lakeshore. Final score in that one was 2-0 for the Lakeshore Canadians. It was a 0-0 after the first period. Lakeshore had 12 shots, Amherstburg had 10, so very even on both sides. In the second period, it was Noah Giudici, me and Tristan figured out how to say his last name is Giudici. He scored his fifth goal of the year 2 minutes into the second period. And then in the third period is Lazar Dragasevich, who has been a guest on this show in the
Laser.
past. In the past,
Yeah.
is it Laser or Lazar?
I just call him Laser, but he's a beauty.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, former Essex 73
Yeah.
scores his fourth goal of the year at 6:55 of the third to give them the 2-0 win. Hunter Welk makes 21 saves in the shutout for the Lakeshore Canadians in the win. Lenin Dimitrov made 37 saves on 39 shots in the loss for Amherstburg. Dimitrov was The first star of the game, Hunter Welk was the second star with the shutout, and Noah Giudice scored the game winner. So he's the third star for the Lakeshore Canadians. Big win for the Habs.
Mhm.
Blenheim that on the same night took on the Dresden Kings at Blenheim. Dresden was actually up 2-1 after the first period in this one. Ethan Waddock opened the scoring at 2:53 of the first period. And then Cameron Graham, a minute later, scored his 20th of the year to tie it up 1-1. Drew Bunda at 17:58 of the first period scored to make it 2-1 there. And then in the second period, Blenheim would go up 3-2 with goals from Stephen Jacobs at 8:24 and Gavin Mariano at 16:10. In the third period, Stephen Jacobs scored 40 seconds in for his second goal of the game and 13th of the year. Nelson DeConning scored at 11:40 for his 13th of the year. And then Colton Graham and Mackenzie Anderson scored 2 goals late for the Dresden Kings in a 5-4 loss there. Looking to see. Yeah, they did get a power play. Yeah, that Colton Graham goal was on the power play there. So ended up being a tight game. Griffin Taylor made 41 saves on 45 shots or 41 on 46 shots. Russell Vaughn made 29 saves on 33 shots in the win for the Blenheim Blades. Stephen Jacobs had 2 goals and 1 assist, was the top star. Tyler Trelout had 2 assists, second star. Mackenzie Anderson for Dresden was with 1 goal, was the third star in that one. The next game was the Essex 73s taking on the Moortown Flags at Essex. And you were in the house for that game, my friend. Tell us what you thought about the Essex 73s taking on the Moortown Flags.
It was a very well played game between both teams.
Definitely
Tight
had a playoff feel
checking.
to it.
Yeah, 100%. Um, it was a goalie battle, dude.
Yeah.
Like both goalies made some incredible saves. Chartrand was obviously, I believe it was his first game back coming back from injury. He was out for a little bit, so of course he makes a start. And I believe it was Castles for Essex, and it was just back and forth, man. Both teams, they were exchanging chances. There was bodies flying everywhere in this game. There was lots of hitting. It was one of those games that where it's like, you know how some games, if they're low scoring, they're kind of boring, or
Yeah.
this wasn't the case at all in this game. It was like back and forth. It was a goalie battle.
Hmm.
100%. It was just a goalie battle. Both teams got their chances. Essex rang the iron probably 3 or 4 times, but Chartrand made some incredible saves. Bert Castles made some incredible saves. And then it was I feel like, did Lewis score in this game? No, I think it was Shirk,
Sure.
and
Got the insurance goal late.
yeah, Shirk got the insurance goal. I'm trying to think who got the first one.
The first goal was scored by William Claridge. It was just a point
Yes.
shot. Nice
Yes.
seeing eye
Yes.
shot from the
That's it.
point. Big Willie style. William Claridge scores
Yeah.
his eighth of the year from Matt Cole. D to
Yeah.
D pass.
Yeah.
Claridge is a left-handed shot, and he just ripped it, and he beat Chartrand. There were some bodies in front of him, so a good
Yeah.
screen set out in
Yeah.
front
There's
there.
Johnny didn't really have much of a chance on it.
No, Moortown did have 4 power play opportunities in the game as well, just couldn't cash in on any of them. And Essex, the one power
Yeah.
play opportunity that they got, they made good on it.
That's
Luke
all it
Short
takes.
scores on a fantastic feed from Connor Hunt and Noah Matheson for his 10th goal of the year. And afterwards, he points up to the boys sitting behind the Moortown bench, some of the hometown boys. I was talking to one of his friends after because I work with him at the game. He's like, "Did you see that? Shirky pointed up to us after, and we were all going nuts."
Yeah.
Because I
One of
guess they like to
the
give it
one
to
of
the
the
boys behind
things
the bench.
that I've really noticed about the um 73s this year. So last year, or the past couple of years, we've been one of the most penalized teams in the league.
Hmm.
Right now, I just looked it up, stat guy, and right now they have the second fewest penalty minutes in the league
In the league, not
right
just the
now.
division, the league.
Not just the division, the league. Okay.
61 teams.
Yes. And so they have done an incredible job staying out of the penalty box, which is allowing them to get more opportunities on the power play. Also, I've noticed too that the coaching staff in Essex, that once in a while they're rocking 4 forwards and a D man on the penalty, on the Power play, sorry, I should
Yep.
say. Also, Seth Martineau is back with the team now as well. So Seth has been playing a little bit of forward. He's been playing defense on the power play. They're kind of bouncing him all over the lineup. So welcome back, Seth Martineau. He's always welcome back. So he takes up, I believe, our last overager spot.
Yes.
But it's always great to see Marty back in town and back in the 73s uniform. I believe he picked up his first point of this season the other night. I think he got an assist in Walpole. But yeah, welcome back, Seth. 73s are buzzing. They're staying out of the penalty box. I want to give credit to I know Luke took a few calls the other night. Not to mention he had the goal, the insurance goal, but he took a couple calls the other night. But prior to that game, Luke has done a really good job on switching up his game and staying out of the penalty box. Luke over the past couple years has took a couple calls over that is kind of, like took away a like power play or put us into a little bit of a sticky situation. And Luke is not doing that this year. So
Yeah.
he's completely changed his game. He's a leader, he's a goal scorer. He the best way to I say to kind of think of Luke when it comes to junior C hockey is he's like the Brad Marchand of our league. He's a small little. He's not really. He's a little undersized, but he's like a great player. He's got great speed. He's got a cannon for a shot. He can hit. He'll muck it up. He gets in those dirty areas. You play him in all situations. He's a shot blocker. Like he's just really coming to his own this year and really embracing being one of the leaders of the 73. So my hat's off, Luke. And like I said, the guy completely changed his game around, and it's for the better, and it's helping the team, and the record shows.
Absolutely.
So
Uh, in goal, Johnny Chartrand makes 32
yeah,
saves on 34 shots in the loss for Moortown. Burt Castles, 25 saves
he's been
on
so
25 shots. That's
mm,
sorry. That's back-to-back shutouts for
yes.
Burt Castles, and he came in
Mhm.
relief in that Amherstburg game there and made 6 saves
Yeah.
on 7 shots. So fantastic. I think Berkey's really hitting his stride right now
Oh.
in goal for the
Okay, so
73s.
Burke is 12-0 right now with the team, and he has 3 shutouts. He's getting his shutouts now because we're not saying it.
Yeah.
So we're not mushing him on the broadcast now. So, but yeah, Burke has been a fantastic pickup for the 73s. He's coming out. Everything's just sticking to him. He's not kicking out rebounds. He's coming out, challenging the shots. He's just, everything's just sticking to him. So he's done an incredible job. And he's pretty good at handling the puck too when it comes
Yeah.
down to him as well. So that obviously helps, gets us breaking out of the zone quick, especially when we have the man advantage. So having a guy like that can play the puck, and he's a big cat too. Like he's
He
tall,
is.
man. He's a big boy. So yeah, everything's on all cylinders. I believe the 73s have won 15 games straight now.
Yeah,
It's
and when you
it's
can
at
do that,
15.
it's pretty
So
good. And they've been in tough in a couple of those situations. They've been they go to overtime in Moortown, they win that game. Well, they're
yeah.
up 3-0, they go to overtime, they win that game. They go to overtime against Blenheim. They win that game. They're down 3-1 against Amherstburg. They come back. They win that game. So they're doing a lot of, and it's not like they're blowing out everybody out. They are coming back and they're getting everyone's best shot
So
every time that they
six
get on the ice.
six of the 15 wins in a row are 1 goal games.
Yep.
So there you go. So it's
Yep.
not like this isn't the old style now. Like this isn't the old Stobbs where it's Essex and Lakeshore running away with it. Like you don't know who's going to win every night when you go to the rink, and it's making it better. Attendance is going up in all the rinks.
Yep.
Um, just the league's getting a better vibe. Everything's kind of, like everything's kind of turning for the good, and it's because the teams are now a little more evenly matched. So it's making for better hockey. You're rarely seeing those 9-1 games now.
Yeah.
Everything's 4-3, 4-2, 3-1. Like it's all just tight
It's
games now. It's
competitive.
great. Yeah, it's how it should be. Who wants to go to a game? It doesn't matter what level it is. Who wants to go to a game and watch a team get walloped?
Yeah. No thanks.
What fun? Unless they're fighting, like what fun is it?
Yeah, it's true. And
So,
it's and it's important to note for our folks at home too that it's drop down season 2 as well.
Yeah.
So some of these like these junior A leagues, these junior B leagues, some of these players are, they're going to make moves at the end of the day, and
Hmm.
somebody's going to get a really big piece toward the end of the drop down season, January or something. Someone's gonna get moved, and they're gonna end up on a Stobbs division team, and it's gonna make a big difference. So
Yeah.
can't wait to see how that goes.
Buckle up. When's the trade deadline?
I believe it's February 1st. I
Okay.
was
And I
just
believe the
talking to somebody
signing
this.
deadline just passed, right? Is that why I'm assuming Valancourt was
I would
like,
assume so.
okay.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
yeah. So we just did the 2-0
Yeah.
Essex Moortown game. Goalie battle, Burt Castles and Jardy Chartrand.
Yep.
If you're trying to market the league, what better than to show off that kind of stuff? And
Hmm.
not a lot of penalties in that game.
Nope.
Essex had 4 penalties. Moortown only had one. So
Mhm.
that's good, clean hockey. Moortown's a good club, and it'd be a fun series watching
Oh,
Essex and Moortown in a playoff
dogfight.
series for sure.
Yeah.
I'd pay money to watch it.
I 100% would.
Moving on to Wednesday, December 10th, the Lakeshore Canadians were on the road taking on the Wheatley Olmsted Sharks. Lakeshore ends up taking a 4-2 decision in that one. Wheatley actually outshot Lakeshore in this game 41-34 and picked up two power play goals. Lakeshore did have a better first period, though. They outshot Wheatley 14-6, and they took a 1-0 lead after the first period with a goal from Evan Fennick, his fourth goal of the year at 9:42. In the second period, it was Jordan Main, their 16-year-old, scoring his second goal of the year at 6:01. Xander Zanier for Wheatley scored his seventh goal of the year to make it 2-1 at 15:21, and then 40 seconds later, Jaden Ferguson scored his third goal of the year at 16:01 to make it 2-2 after 2 periods of play. But in the third period, it was the Lakeshore Canadians that converted on just 9 shots. They Lakeshore was outshot in the third period, 20-9, but they do come up with two big goals early in the third period. Lazar Dragisevich, the laser,
Laser.
the score scores his fifth goal of the year, and at 4:16, Nicholas Greniero, former LaSalle Viper, played a handful of games, I believe, with the Windsor Spitfires, scores his 11th goal of the year. He's been very good for Lakeshore this year, and that would do it. Let's see, we got any fighting in this one?
Any scraps?
No, no scraps in
Oh,
this one.
you got to shout
So
out those nail guns, though.
that's right. Hunter Welk makes 39 saves on 41 shots for the win in Lakeshore. Ethan Davis for Wheatley made 30 saves on 34 shots in the loss for the Sharks. Wheatley was 2 for 5 with the man advantage in that one, though. And our good buddy Sean Hamlin was the referee in this game.
Hammer.
Good old Hammer. I used to
Yeah.
love watching him play. I used to do the timekeeping for juvenile teams back in
Yeah.
the day,
He
and he
grows
was
a
always fun.
sick handlebar mustache too. Movember is the greasiest thing you'll ever see in your entire life.
I ran into him at Costco a few weeks ago. It was good to see him.
Oh yeah, he's always a good time.
Yeah, good guy. And then the next night, the Walpole Island Wild picked up their second win of the year
Let's go, baby.
at home, this time taking on the Wheatley Olmsted Sharks. It was a 6-3 final, and Walpole got on the board early and often in this one. Actually, they were down 1-0 early on. Carson Marakis for Wheatley scored at 2:32 of the first period to give the Sharks a 1-0 lead, but then it was all Walpole after that. Kyle Berkvins scored his first goal of the year at 7:30. Axel Howlett scored his first goal at 14:04, and then Garrett Vandendoel scored at 17:19 to give the Wild a 3-1 lead after the first period. In the second, Aaron Highfield scores a natural hat trick. Shout
Love
out
it.
to Aaron Highfield for the natural hattie. Sixth,
Crispy.
seven, and eighth goal of the year. 147, 634, and 1140 in the second period to give them a 6-1 lead. Josh Chauvin did score
Mhm.
for Wheatley, his 11th goal of the year to make it 6-2 after 2 periods of play. And then Josh Blow scored his seventh of the year midway through the third period to make it 6-3, but they would get no closer. The Walpole Island Wild pick up their second win of the year with a 6-3 win over the Wheatley Sharks.
What
So
a name there
congratulations,
too,
everybody.
Axel. That goes hard, dude.
That's good. I love
That's
it.
a sick name.
Axel
Love it.
Howlett.
Yeah, that's an
We'll
awesome
make,
name.
yeah, at the end of the year, we'll
Not
make
even
a
kidding.
whole,
Like not even being a smartass. Like that name's
we'll,
fucking. Hard.
we will make a all name team in the Stobbs division, the best names.
We should. That's
Yeah.
actually a fucking great idea. We're we're doing it. We're
Yeah.
doing it. All right.
Sounds good. Adam Flanagan made in 31 minutes of ice time, made 9 saves on 15 shots. Ethan Davis came in and did stop all 9 shots that he faced in relief. But they team up for the loss there. Nicholas Juranian for Walpole made 40 saves on 43 shots in the win for Walpole Island. So they win 6-3. I believe both their wins this year are over Wheatley, and I believe they've went to overtime with Wheatley once this year as well. So congratulations to Walpole. That's a big one for them.
Yeah.
Good program. You hate to see a team struggle like that.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to see, 222 and one or whatever their record is. But they're giving their guy they're giving a lot of teams their best effort,
You know what though? A lot
and
of the
and they're building
times
the
though,
program.
I find that Walpole will sneak out a couple wins. Like they'll be, I think they beat us before. They beat Lakeshore before. Like
Yep.
it's not like I would if they won against somebody near, way up or whatever. I wouldn't be like, oh my God. I'd be like, oh, like because it's not
Yeah.
that surprising that they pull off wins. Like it's
Yeah.
not. It's just a lot of the games too. They've had a bunch where they were in a bunch. They've been in a bunch of games. It's just
Yeah.
sometimes you don't get the right bounce or you don't get a goal when you need it or whatever. But that team, I'll tell you, man, they work hard. So it's
Their head coach is Louis Blackbird, and their
yeah,
their general manager is Scott Gorey. So keep doing what you're doing, boys.
yeah, man. Just push through. Let's go.
Yep. You know what? I hadn't talked to you guys about this before, but what I think that they should do for some of these teams that aren't winning as many games as you would like, maybe at the end of the year, get like 4 or 5 of them together and do like a mini tournament somewhere and just like see where they're at competition wise
Mhm.
and be like, or maybe get them together with the league and say, hey, what do you need to be more competitive? Like, what can we do to help you build a better program? Can we talk ideas? Can we talk recruiting? Can we talk this? Just
Yeah.
because like most of the time you're playing the top team in your division in the first round, and respectfully, it's usually a sweep, and that's the end of your season,
Mhm.
right? Like if they could put something together where, to help these teams, help them build, like talk to them, maybe say, hey, what's your off season look like? How is this going? How's recruiting going? How's the financial situation? What can we do
Yeah.
to draw more people in?
Yeah.
Because, I just thought, it's not going to do any good to have the bottom feeders stay at the bottom. We got to try
Yeah.
and build these programs
Well,
up,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. Make it makes the league better.
Absolutely. So I just think of it like because a lot of the highest level of stuff that I played at was CJFL, and a lot of the lowest ranked teams are still the lowest ranked teams, and so it's like, what can you do to
Mhm.
help these teams get better? Like,
What if you like opened up their signing period a couple days or whatever sooner before everybody else or something that kind of gives them first dibs at guys or something,
yeah, or at least have the chance
you
to
know?
talk to them.
Yeah, something. There
Yeah,
there 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 like has to be a way to do it to make the league better.
yeah, I agree, but it's just an idea off the top of my
Like the
head.
other
Just
thing too is like I've been to like Walpole and their fans and everything. They're like it's a hockey community. They're very
yeah,
passionate about their hockey and everything. But like I just have a feeling that it's just not as sexy to players to go there because it's like people think like it's so far away. Like it's not
yeah,
crazy far away. Like it's not that bad
yeah,
of a trip or a track, you know what I mean, to get there. So
yeah,
I just hope that like, and once again, I'm not being an asshole or being a smart ass or anything. Like I want them to get better players because I want them to have a good program. I really do. It's better for the league. It's just better for everybody in general, for their fans, for their town, for everything. So,
yeah,
and I don't know. And don't get me wrong, every time they come to town, I don't think like, oh, it's going to be an easy. I think like Walpole's coming to town. It's going to be a dogfight. They're a
yep,
gritty team. They're in your face. They will hit the shit out of you. They will wear you down. And like that's what I think every time they're in. So
hmm
I love the fight in them. I do. I really do. I love that team. And they have sick jerseys. I love
yeah.
them.
I do really like the jerseys too.
Yeah.
So, all right,
Let's go, Walpole. Come on. pulling for you here. Let's go,
Yeah.
baby.
I take an XL, by the way, if you're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
give me a
me too. You
t-shirt.
want to send those our way? I'll rock that
I'll rock a
all
Walpole
day
t-shirt for sure.
for sure.
Um, moving on to Friday, December 12th. This was a fun game. I watched this one, but from about midway through the third period on into overtime. The Blenheim Blades take on the Lakeshore Canadians. Blenheim was up 1-0 after the first period on a goal from Ethan Waddick at 10:25, his fourth goal of the year from Nelson DeConning and Brad McAlpine. In the second period, Lakeshore bounces back and they score two goals to take a 2-1 lead. Jordan Main scores his third goal of the year at 2:06, and Kyle Kelly scores his fifth goal at 13:36 to give them a 2-1 lead after two periods. In the third, midway through the third frame, Andrew Goulet scores his 10th goal of the year at 11:38 from Nelson DeConning and Gavin Mariano, and this game is going to overtime.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
So
So
who
I
scored
watched
on
this
a
one.
yeah, yeah, you
Sorry?
watched it, right?
Yeah, I
Russell
ended up
Vaughn
watching
made a
this.
like incredible save, didn't he?
I saw a number of them. I'm not sure which one you're talking about specifically, but it looked like he played very well.
I think his dad sent me one that I watched. His dad like is awesome because he sends me like some of the crazy highlights from their games. So shout out to
Sweet.
him. But he sent me and it was a incredible. I'm not sure when it was in the game, but Russell Vaughn makes some of the craziest saves when you think he's out of, you think he's down and out. He's not. He'll get a stick back or a double pad stack or anything. Like he's very like he's that guy's like fucking Gumby when he
Yeah.
plays net. Like it's crazy. But yeah, he made a big save, which I think eventually ended up leading to, I believe it was an overtime goal on a breakaway.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I do know what you're talking about now
Yeah.
because in the early goings of the overtime, it was Lakeshore that had possession throughout the entire
Yeah. It
time.
was a
They
cross crease pass.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it's a 7 minute overtime period as people that are fans of the
Mhm.
PJHL know. So it's 3-on-3 for 7 minutes. So puck possession is absolutely huge. Lakeshore has possession, sets up a couple of good chances, big save from Russell Vaughn, and then all of a sudden Steph Jacobs sends David Brown in all alone, and then the lone goal and the lone shot that they get in overtime, he beats Bo Porosky on the breakaway to give the Blades a 3-2 win in overtime over the Lakeshore Canadians, and that bench went
Yeah.
crazy.
You're seeing a lot of overtime games this year in the Stobbs.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Russell Vaughn in the win made 32 saves on 34 shots.
Yeah.
Bo Porosky in the overtime loss made 23 saves on 26 shots, and a lot of fun. Lakeshore was 0 for 4 with the power play, and Blenheim was 0 for 3, and
Yeah.
that's not a lot of penalties in a game
No.
for those two teams. So good game there. Congratulations to Blenheim for a good overtime win there, and another marquee game in the division that ended up in an overtime winner. So I love some free hockey. Overtime's always fun. And the Blenheim Blades go home happy. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, the Lakeshore Canadians do not. Other action going on in the Stobbs on the Friday night. The Amherstburg Admirals bouncing back after two losses to to Essex and Lakeshore. At home, they go on the road to Dresden. The Dresden Kings were up 2-1 after the first period. Mackenzie Anderson and Cameron Graham both scored in the first period. Cameron Graham's now got 21 goals in the division. Corey Leach scored at 12:07 for Amherstburg to make it 2-1 after the first period. Colton Graham scored his 19th goal of the year at 14:47 to give the Kings a 3-1 lead. Cue the comeback, though. Drew Booker for Amherstburg scores 2 minutes into the third period. Dresden gets another one, though, to make it 4-2. Colton Graham scores his 20th goal at 4:03. And then cue Jaden Segan had a
Yep.
fantastic shift. He scores two goals on the same shift. First one's at 13:06, his first goal of the year, and then from Cooper Bolmer and Luka Milosevic, former
Yep.
Essex 73.
Yep.
And at
Both of them.
13:33, they keep him on the ice and say, "Go do it again, kid." And he says, "Bet." Scores again. This one unassisted for his second
Yeah.
goal of the year, and then they would go into overtime. And then who scored the overtime winner? Ant
Is that Valancourt?
That's Zach
Yeah.
Valancourt.
I
Fresh
mean,
off
he's
giving
got a
knuckle soothers in the
yeah, he's got a
NPHL. He
fucking
signs with
cannon.
Amherstburg earlier that week, and he scores the overtime winner. Just ripped a rip shot
Yeah.
past the goaltender there, Joseph Malinowski, and Amherstburg goes away with a big win there. I believe it was their dad's trip too.
Yeah, it
So
was.
they
Yeah.
so they got a big win there. In
Hmm.
the win, Bennett Horrocks for Amherstburg got 32 saves on 36 shots. Joseph Malinowski in the loss for Dresden made 23 saves on 28 shots. So Amherstburg, with their fourth overtime win of the year,
Jeez.
picks up a big 5-4 win on the road in that game. Couple more games in the division to chat about, and then we are done, my friend. On Saturday, December 13th, the Essex 73s traveled to Walpole Island to take on the Wild, coming off their second win of the year over Wheatley. Essex was up 2-1 after the first period with goals from Jack Lewis, his 11th of the year, and Luke Shirk, his 11th of the year, sandwiched between a goal from Evan Derricks from Walpole.
Hmm.
Walpole then tied the game at 5:50 of the second period with a goal from Aaron Highfield, who scored a natural hat trick in that game against Wheatley. So make it 2-2, and then the Essex 73s turned it up. Ethan O'Neill scores at 11:17. Carter Dembinski scores at 12:18, and Andrew Baker scores at 3:13. So three goals within 2 minutes, and Essex is up 5-2 in that one. In the third period, it was more Essex 73s. Noah Matheson scores at 4:18. Cale McCabe scores his eighth of the year at 11:53. 21 seconds later, Jack Lewis uh, scores again, his second of the game, his 12th of the year, and then at 18:03, Jack Lewis completes the hat trick with his 13th goal of the year and third of the game. Seth Martineau does pick up an assist on that one. He also got an assist on a power play goal earlier in the game.
Hmm.
So Jack Lewis ends up with three goals and one assist in that one, and the Essex 73s skate away with a 9-3 win over Walpole in that one. 9-3? No, 9-2. 9-2, sorry.
9-2. Yeah.
I
And
thought
like
yeah, 9-2, sorry.
going back to Jack Lewis there for a second, he's
Yeah,
really turned it up. Jack is now tied for the team lead in goals with
13.
13, and he's also now um where is he's got to be up there in points too. He's got to be close. Connor Hunt right now leads the 73s with 42 points.
Hmm.
Um so
Matheson's right behind him.
yes, Burke Castle, since he's been here, holds a 155 goals against, and he holds a 926 save percentage.
Yep. In this game, he made 21 saves on 23 shots for the
Yeah.
win. Nicholas Duranian made 33 saves on 42 shots in the loss for
Jeez.
Walpole. Essex was 3 for 5 on the power play. Walpole was 1 for 5 with the man advantage. And that was the Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock
Yeah.
in Walpole there. Couple more games to go through. Dresden and Moortown at the Moortown Sports Complex. The Dresden Kings trying to shake it off, as Taylor Swift would say. That loss to Amherstburg. Dresden got on the board first. They led 1-0 after the first period with a goal from Mackenzie Anderson. I've said his name a lot this game. Uh,
Yeah,
his
you
eighth
have.
of the year at 14:59 of the first period. Dresden then went up 3-0 with goals from Cameron Graham at 3:24 and then Colton Graham at 6:44. So that's Cameron's 22nd and Colton's 21st goal of the year. So they are up 3-0. Cue the comeback from Moortown. Mason Flett scored his sixth goal of the year at 15:57, and then Landon Marcy scored 5 seconds into the third period, but that was as close as they would get. This game did have a fighting major. Quinn Pickering and Jeremiah Nappy for Moortown. So Quinn's from Dresden, Jeremiah is from Moortown. They scrapped in the first period at 8:06. They
Love.
both got 5 for fighting and a game misconduct, but that was it. In the win for Dresden, Joseph Malinowski made 31 saves on 33 shots, and Johnny Chartrand made 35 saves in 33 shots in the loss there. Colton Graham's the uh, first star of the game with 1 goal and 2 assists, and Malinowski was the second. Johnny Moortown was the
Yeah.
third star with 35 saves on 38 shots. So Dresden picking up a big win there over Moortown, and those teams. Well, as we go through the standings a little bit later, these are big games that are going to be
Yeah.
moving on later on in the uh, regular season because we're not too far away from the end of the regular season here at the beginning of February. Um, a couple more games and then we are done. That's the last one, Moortown and Dresden. And then on Sunday, there's only a couple games going on in the division. And there's a big game going on in the division that just finished up before we started turning on the microphones. The Moortown Flags, after losing that game to the Dresden Kings, went on the road to the Blenheim Blades, and Moortown went on. Uh, Moortown would lead 1-0 after the first period, despite being outshot 16-6. Moortown got on the board with a goal from Jace Dupuy at 10:22, his 18th goal of the year on the power play, give them a 1-0 lead after the first period. Then Moortown and Blenheim would be trading goals in the second. Andrew Goulet scores for Blenheim at 7:04, his 11th of the year from Tyler Trelo and Ethan Waddock. 55 seconds later, Moortown got a goal from Ty Tarian, his first of the year from Owen McDonald and Casey Shoughton on the power play. So that's 2-1 Moortown. Dominic Gore scored for Blenheim at 14:33, his seventh of the year from Stephen Jacobs and Blaine Bassick to make it 2-2. And then Moortown would go up 3-2 on a second goal from Ty Tarian, his second goal of the year as well at 15:47. So 3-2 Moortown after two. And then Blenheim. Tyler Trelo scores his sixth of the year, 40 seconds into the third period. Blaine Bassick puts Blenheim up 4-3 at 8:32 of the third, his fourth of the year from Brett Stonehouse and Everett Swayze. That's another one. That's going to go on the all-name team for the Stobbs division, Everett
Yeah.
Swayze.
Yeah.
That's a sweet name. And so this game, Landon Marcy would then tie the game at 15:01 to send this one into overtime. And then 150 into overtime. Dylan Dupuy from Jace Dupuy and Ethan Glavin scores the OT winner, his ninth of the year, to give the Flags a 5-4 overtime victory. Johnny Chartrand made 44 saves on 48 shots, and Russell Vaughn in the overtime loss made 17 saves on 22 shots there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your PJHL Stobbs Division Roundup.
So you
Clap.
just talked about the one you just did. Was that the one that from Moortown and Blenheim tonight?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, those two teams have had some battles
Yes.
this year. So like we've had some battles with Blenheim. Blenheim's had some battles with Moortown. We've had some battles with Moortown. So like we said earlier on in the show and what like we've been saying all year, the Stobbs is really starting to level out. So
So at the beginning of the recap, Blenheim
mhm,
beats Moortown 7-1,
yeah.
right? Uh Blenheim beats Lakeshore in overtime.
Mhm,
Dresden beats Moortown. Sorry, Amherstburg beats Dresden. Amherstburg almost beats Essex.
yeah.
Amherstburg then beats Dresden in overtime. Dresden beats Blenheim. Or sorry, yeah, Dresden beats Moortown,
Yeah.
and then Moortown beats Blenheim.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just flip a coin. Walking
Yep,
into the rink, flip a coin.
that's good. And we've got some big games coming up. I believe Essex is gonna, yeah, Essex. The week of this recording, December 19th, Essex is gonna play at Lakeshore, their first trip to the Atlas Tube Center this year. So if
Is that
I
this
would circle that
Friday?
one. That's this Friday, December
I
19th.
might go with E.
Yeah, not a
E
whole
and
lot of
Quinn,
games
maybe.
going on in the division because it's getting close to that Christmas time. They're going to take a break from the 23rd to January 4th. That's why we wanted to get this episode together
Mhm.
and kind of wish everyone a very Merry
Yeah,
Christmas
so
at the same time.
yeah,
So
Essex will play
Essex at
four
Lakeshore
times.
on December 19th.
Yeah. Yeah, so they play the 16th, which is this week at home. We host Dresden. Then, like
Yep.
Brett just said, we're in Lakeshore on Friday. And then Saturday, the next day, we're in Wheatley at
Yes.
6 o'clock. So for the fans that want to travel down to that game, and then the following Tuesday night on the 23rd, we're going to welcome in the Walpole Island Wild. So, and
Yeah.
then that will
Before the
be our
break.
last game before the break, and then we come back on the 4th where we open up after the holidays. On the 4th, we'll be in Blenheim. So there's some big games coming up for
For
sure.
sure. And on the 20th and the 21st, Blenheim and Amherstburg are going to have a home and home. So on the Saturday, the December 20th, Blenheim's going to go to Amherstburg, and then the next day, Sunday the 21st, Amherstburg's going to go to Blenheim. And before the end of the trip, like before the Christmas break,
Yeah.
Amherstburg is going to go to Blenheim. Sorry, Amherstburg is going to go to Lakeshore as well. So
Now, I
lots of
think,
games going on in the division.
does the whole league get this break?
No, like there's a lot of teams that are playing on the 27th, 28th, 29th kind of stuff, but the
Okay.
Stobbs division is taking a break from the 23rd to the 4th, which I
Okay.
like.
Yeah, because after we come back, like when we come back on the fourth, we only have one, two, three, 4,
5 weeks.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games of the regular season when we come back after the Christmas holidays. So the season is winding down quick. Before we know it, we're going to be starting the playoffs and buckle up.
That's right. Let me recap the Stobbs division standings and then we'll get out of here. Okay, bud?
Yep. Give her.
Down. All right. In eighth place, the Walpole Island Wild, 27 games, 2 wins, 24 losses, 1 overtime loss, 5 points. Seventh place, Amherstburg Admirals, 26 games played, 10 wins, 14 losses, 2 overtime losses, and 4 overtime wins. They sit at 22 points. Wheatley, 28 games played, 11 wins, 16 losses, 1 overtime loss, and 2 overtime wins, 23 points. Dresden Kings, 27 games played, 10 wins, 13 losses, 4 overtime losses for 24 points. Moortown Flags, 28 games, 14 wins, 13 losses, 1 overtime loss, and count them, 1, 2, 3 overtime wins for the Flags. They have 29 points. And then this is where things get a little tight here.
Yeah.
The Lakeshore Canadians, 27 games played, 19 wins, 6 losses, 2 overtime losses, and 40 points. The Blenheim Blades in second place, 28 games played, so they do have one game extra played with than Lakeshore. 20 wins, 6 losses, 2 overtime losses, and 3 overtime wins for the Blades, 42 points. And in first place, the Essex 73s, 27 games played, 23 wins, 23 wins, 3 losses, 1 overtime loss, and 2 overtime wins. And you are correct, Ant. They have won 15 games in a row. And
Hmm.
they are at the top of the division for a reason, but they are within striking distance within those top
Yeah.
two teams. And Moortown's not too far away. Don't you love how the standings are right now? They've got, there's groups together, but those 4, 5, 6, and 7, they are really tight.
Oh, yeah. Flip a coin.
All right. That's gonna, unless you have anything else to say, man, I think that we are good. And we want to thank our fans for watching, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. As always, we're gonna try to maybe get a episode or two out while we're throughout the holidays. We don't really want to leave everybody hanging. There's a couple of really big guests that I've been kind of chatting with that we're gonna get on soon. I don't want to mention any names because one of them, if we interview him in time, we're gonna drop maybe Christmas Day if we get a hold of him. So
Yeah.
we'll see
And
how it goes.
yeah,
So
and if we were to get him, he'd be absolute beauty of a
trust me,
guest. Little hint there.
if we can get him in time, I want to leave everybody on the edge of your seat. If we can get him in time, we're gonna and if it'll work out, we're gonna try to drop it Christmas Day if we get him.
Yeah.
And when we do, and you see who it is, you're gonna go, now it makes sense why you're dropping it Christmas Day. So
Yes, for sure.
um, I'll work on it for you guys. I'm trying. I actually was messaging him earlier today. We were talking a little bit, so we're trying to line something up to get him on. So when you guys see, trust me right now, you will love it, 100%.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Leave him wanting
I
more, Ant.
can't say who it is in case
No, no. You can't
schedules
say who it is because
conflict.
if it doesn't work out, we look like
Yeah, so
dummies.
well that and if schedules conflict, then you know what I mean, and we don't get him on till after the holidays, and he already said he would do it. It's just a matter of we just have to line up our time. So
For sure.
yeah,
All right. Well, without further more, this is Brett and Anthony saying so long. Thank you for watching the Hattrick Hockey Podcast. Make sure to follow us on our social media outlets. Smash the subscription link. Find the merchandise link in the episode description. Get some t-shirts, hats, anything you need for your Hot Trick hockey fan out there. Support our sponsors because they support us. Get 20% off your order with BioSteel with your promo code HTH Podcast. Use the same promo code HTH Podcast to get 10% off your order of Howie's Hockey Tape. Anything else, buddy?
that's it, brother.
All right. From all of us at the Hattrick Hockey Podcast, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time on HTH. Good night.
I've lost my fight.